You know, never judge a book by its cover. How does homeless supposed to look? Homeless is not supposed to look any certain way. You don't dress it up in clothes. You don't dress homelessness up in a job description. You don't dress homelessness up in depression. You don't dress homelessness up with anxiety. You don't dress homelessness up with judging itself. Judging a book by its cover. It's a thought process to me. You know, everybody's walk of life is different. You know, just because you may not understand someone's walk of life, you don't understand someone's pain and their trauma, and they overcoming their pain and their trauma at the end of the day, and you don't understand how they continue to elevate and become their best self vision of themselves, and they continue to choose their best self vision of themselves. You know, my name is Naya Genuine Love Respect. And like I said, this page is not for everybody, but this is Naya's journey. And like I said, everybody, the genuine ones, come join Naya Genuine Love. Like, it's better days ahead, and we can all grow and become our best self visions of ourselves, you know? One day at a time, being patient with God's guidance and God's protection every direction. You know, like I said, you can't dress homelessness up with clothes. Never judge a book by its cover. And yes, I was homeless at a point in time in my life. Multiple times in my life, I have been homeless. You know, was an experience of an unhealthy experience? Yes, it was. Did it make me sick? Of course it did. Did it stress me out? Of course it did. How did I feel when I overcame the pain and the trauma of being homeless? Reevaluating my life, knowing that certain individuals wasn't for me. All they wanted to do was talk about me. It's the thought process for me. When you can be that good person on a good and bad day. You can work from a 9 to 5 and provide for yourself and show up for yourself and have side hustles within side hustles. But, you know, life happens to the best of us when people just want to use and abuse you and disrespect you and don't want you to become your best self vision of yourself. And they would just try to take everything from you when you least expect it and blame you because of the fact that they put spell work on you. Or they just didn't want to see you become your best self vision of yourself because they saw so much potential within you. They would try to get you fired from your jobs. All types of toxic behaviors within behaviors. Fighting you at your jobs and all type of chaotic stuff. It's a thought process for me. It's an experience within experience. But never allow someone to dim your light. You know, depression is real. Depression is so real that you can't dim your light on your own depression regardless to who's around you. And being depressed will put you in situations and your trauma and your pain will start to display when you least expect it. And sometimes you got to be real with yourself and say, you know what, sometimes it's okay to self-reflect and not allow yourself to dim your light because of your pain. When everybody start to change and you start to go within, things will never be the same. But you understood that they was not supposed to be part of your plan when it came to your journey of your new walk of life. As the journey began, you know, self-reflecting would never be the same. To go within and understand the genuine self-awareness to know your self-value today. That energy hit different. You know how they knew how to hit you up when it was time to party, or they knew how to hit you up when it was time to buy a bottle, or they knew how to hit you up when it was time to do a bunch of BS. But they didn't know how to reach out to you when it was time to go within. They knew how to reach out to you and just hear your problems within your problems, but they didn't want to help you. But you knew how to motivate them and respect them and look out for them on days when you didn't even have it for yourself, but you knew how to show up for everybody else. Shortchanging yourself, dang. It would never be the same again because they're not in your lane. So they can't shortchange you today, let alone shortchange yourself. But things would never be the same because you choose your best self vision of yourself. It's a thought process for me. Trauma on top of trauma. You know, being sexually assaulted as a child and it went into your adulthood, or violence and traumatizing situations on top of trauma and pain and dysfunctional folks and domestic violence and discrimination, and you put a name to your book. You know, a certain topic is not easy to talk about. So I understand why you would feel the way you feel, to try to dim your own light because you don't feel comfortable talking about it. But you got to be patient with your process and know at the end of the day that's your experience. And don't dim your light and allow yourself to become the victim because they made you a victim. It's the thought process, man. They quick to judge a book by its cover because they don't understand. You can't dress being homeless up in clothes. It will be no way out. It's a description with a description. It's a layer of a layer. It's a thought process to me. A layer of your pain and trauma. Once you remove the layers of the clothes of the items that you have on and reevaluate your thought process, in the day your pain your pain is still there with them being there. And when you sit in your own pain, you realize at the end of the day, you're homeless. Nowhere to turn to. You feel like there's no way out. Looking for help, everybody's laughing at you. Damn. Pain within pain. Your pain. You know how it feels to ask for help and someone dims your light? You know that even exchange, that fair exchange, that how you know how to show for yourself? And you know how to give that equal exchange when you know how to respect your neighbor, but your neighbor shortchanged you today. And you felt like it was no way out. You know how to respect your neighbor, good day, bad day, misunderstanding day, regardless of your trauma and your pain. Yeah, you being homeless. You still know how to respect your neighbor. Wow. The pain and the trauma still feel the same. Does it? Does it just feel like yesterday? Does it feel still like yesterday? That conversation that was replaying. The day where you reevaluate your thought process, saying to yourself is, wow, who can I possibly trust in this cold world? Who can I possibly confide in? Ain't nobody got my back like me. When you really got to analyze and reevaluate your thought process and say to yourself is, I choose me. And because you choose you, you self-reflect to go within, understand the temporary situation within the temporary situation. There was a way out. Choosing your best self-vision of yourself to self-reflect. They didn't want you to see balance, to see your way out. Here be the thought process for me. Finding balance within balance. You understood the sun within the sun with a temporary situation and finding balance and know there was a way out. They said that you wasn't going to be nothing. They said that you wasn't a good role model at all. All because they had controlling issues. They painted a narrative of you that you truly wasn't, of a description of the delusional ass mindset. Never judge a book by its cover. Dang, trauma and pain ain't been the same. Because you showing up for yourself in the most healthiest way. Not to dim your light. Love yourself, to respect yourself, to honor yourself. Yeah, that energy hit different. To tune into yourself in the most healthiest way. Not to dim your light. You went within to understand the healing. You know, self-awareness, self-respect, self-healing, self-control, self-peace, self-confidence, self-discipline, self-care, self-value, self-love, self-worth, healthy boundaries and patience, balance, healthy balance, healthy boundaries so you can elevate to become your best self-vision of yourself, days when you thought you couldn't see no way out. Those days when you felt like you was miserable with and being miserable, getting sick with and getting sick of depression, anxiety, PTSD, you put a name to your book, sleepless nights, you felt like there was no way out. Wow. Always pray for days like this to be at peace with yourself. There was a way out. That calling on God. God was guiding you. You walk by faith, not by sight, so they don't understand how you're not dimming your light today. That's what they wanted you to do. It's the thought process of me. Choosing your best self-vision of yourself to show up for yourself in the most healthiest way. Wow. Continue to be patient with yourself. I'm proud of you today. You understood the assignment and the assignment. At the end of the day, your past doesn't live here today. And understand at the end of the day, wow. They judged you before actually getting to know you. Such a generous person, such a sweet person, such a respectful person, such a kind person, with no malicious intentions to bring harm to yourself or your neighbor. Here be the thought process of me. Dang. They sat there and painted a narrative of you that you truly wasn't. It's a pleasure to meet you. Wow, you can actually have a conversation. You have common sense. You can respect yourself to respect your neighbor. Oh, wow, you're not a nasty person. Wow. Now that I reevaluate my thought process, it sounds like that person was a hate in disguise, because at the end of the day, all they kept talking about was the same thing. Why you keep elevating? It'd be the thought process for me. Because you choose your best self vision of yourself. You know how that hate in disguise, that family member or that person that you allow to call family, or the one that you said was your so-called friend, he's so sad at the end of the day. Yeah, the ones that was screaming in the back, that relationship that you was in, the way they were saying that they was jealous of you. And when you went within to reevaluate your thought process, like, dang, how dare you? It's the thought process, me. When you reevaluate your thought process, saying to yourself, I'm not shortchanging myself today. Yeah, that energy hit different. It's the thought process of me. Yeah, choose your best self vision of yourself. They try to dim your light, but you chose your best self vision of yourself. They said that you was delusional, you was crazy, you needed a whole straight body jacket. But now they reevaluating their life today. They need a whole straight body jacket. It'd be the thought process of me. They picking up their face with them, picking up their face, saying that, dang, I done messed up with a great one today. It'd be the thought process of me. I never had a real one like that ever come in my life. I played in my own face. It'd be the thought process for me. Real recognize real, they say, yeah, all right. That one-sided conversation be real at the end of the day. When you realize in the day, you reevaluate your thought process. Real recognize real, yeah, there's self-reflection of myself today. It be the thought process for me. Been having a whole conversation about myself. To myself, to acknowledge myself, and that's okay. Because if I don't love me, who's going to love me? If I don't respect me, who's going to respect me? They try to dim my light, but I ain't going to allow myself to dim my light today. Yeah, that energy hit different. You ever picked up the phone and told somebody that you needed somewhere to stay, and they reevaluated your conversation within your conversation of your thought process and say to you is, I can't help you today. And you just gave them money. It'd be the thought process of me. And they'd be like, F your money. Well, give it back to me. They'd be laughing and hang up the phone. It'd be the thought process of me. Then they quick to say, you going to need me before I need you. It'd be the thought process of me. Nah, checkmate. God said it. God said, my Heavenly Father God, my Heavenly Father Mother said, they got my back, they got my back. Good day, bad day, misunderstanding day. It'd be the thought process for me. When you tuned into yourself in the most healthiest way, they can't go against you anymore. Because why? God's protection for every direction. Get that energy hit different. It's the thought process for me. Wow. That moment within a moment. You have to reevaluate your thought process when you got that eviction notice. To say to yourself, it was you choked up. Choked up with them being choked up of your own tears and hurt and pain and not understanding that things will never be the same. But understanding that change comes growth, with growth comes true understanding of self. How? This is your new journey. It's a new beginnings. You choosing your best self. You choosing your best self. Vision of yourself to self-reflect and understand that this rejection was for God's protection. Because God said better days ahead for all the right reasons. God got your back. God got your back. It's the thought process of me when God is paying attention. When you're tuning into yourself in the most healthiest way. Self-awareness is very important. So when you self-reflect, you can understand the assignment and assignment to tune into yourself and be patient with yourself and be kind to yourself and not to dim your light. Yeah, that energy hit different. You mad and you are worthy. Just because you was homeless at the end of the day don't mean that you'll be homeless forever. But if you allow yourself to put yourself in that narrative of a mindset that you will be homeless forever, then that's where you will be. Or if you continue to allow yourself to put yourself in a narrative of to keep repeating the same old habits and allowing the same folks to be around you, they not motivating themselves, then it's not going to make sense. Why would you want to shortchange yourself if you say you want growth? You got to mean what you say and say what you mean. Sometimes new is uncomfortable. But sometimes new is for the best. It's a win and lose at the end of the day. In choosing your best self vision of yourself. You pick the win for the win. Because at the end of the day, you never stop elevating. You never stop growing as an individual. You never stop allowing yourself to see a temporary situation for what a temporary situation is supposed to be. And acknowledge a temporary situation like, hey, I'm not going to allow myself to be a victim today. No, I'm going to choose my best self vision of myself. They made me be a victim. I won't allow myself to be a victim. But I'm going to choose my best self vision of myself today. To elevate, to understand what growth comes, change comes, true understanding of self, and yes, I choose me today, tomorrow, and next century, in the most healthiest way. That trauma and that pain don't live here today. Self and reflecting is very important. You gotta be mentally ready when you start your healing process, and I say that respectfully. It don't matter what time frame in your life you've ever been homeless. You mad and you are worthy, because nobody is deserving to be homeless. And I say that respectfully, regardless of your culture, regardless of your sexual orientation, regardless if you're disabled or not, regardless of how old you are. And I say that respectfully. Everybody deserves a roof over their head, regardless of their diagnosis, regardless of they having a misunderstanding self-day with themselves today. As long as they don't have malicious intentions to bring harm towards themselves or others around them. It's called respect, neighbor. Just because someone gave up on you, don't give up on yourself. Just because someone overlooked you, don't give up on yourself. You are genuinely loved by all the right people. You are genuinely respected by all the right people. And you deserve to be treated with respect 365 days with no malicious intentions to bring harm towards yourself or others around you. Protect your energy, because not everybody's having your time. You matter and you are worthy. Protect your energy, because not everybody's having your time. It's a thought process for me. I truly preach the time to the genuine ones only. Never allow a hate in disguise or personal malicious intentions psych you out your thought process on your friend, your pockets, or your eyesight, because they don't have good intentions. Protect your energy, because not everybody's having your time. I truly appreciate your time to the genuine ones only. Have a safe day. Have a safe week. Protect your energy, because not everybody's having your time. Now your genuine love, respect. I gotta go. It's the thought process for me.